Just got done watching Hidden Colors 5. Yeah. So I'm gonna give y'all time to get in. Let me go get the cover. Man, it was a good movie. Authentic, a bootleg. We got the authentic, sent straight out. We got it today. Almost the day it went live because we bought it in advance. But family, well worth it. Long. I mean, people was here, now they leaving. So I'm trying to get people here for the conversation. So go and be patient. I want to give out the prize because I finally found out who won the prize. I was sitting up there hoping that I ain't waste my money on this app. But hey, we're gonna turn it around, give you a couple minutes to catch up with us.
Brother, I need your number, man. Call me, all right? Give me my phone. My wife got my phone. Call me. Call my number. You got my number, right? 271. I'm quality assurance. I gotta make sure the food is you only got 4 left. I ain't gonna mess with you. 271-2334. I need all y'all's numbers, man. How we gonna be all together? We don't all have each other. I need Renee's number, yours. I got Navitas and hotels in Taiwan's. I don't have yours, Kwame's, Renee's. Who else? Yes, sir. What's it, a donation? This donation? There you go, man. I know. You called me?
I said you said.
Okay, cool. All right, come on, let's go. Let me check that out.
I got the mic, so some of y'all might be whispering. I'm also recording, so if you don't want your face to be seen, stay in the back, because the camera is not focused in, but I want to make sure that the community can also see that we're having this conversation.
Now, the movie was long. We had a lot more people here. Was hoping to get even more, but I got who we got. So if y'all like the movie, give it a round of applause. All right. Before we get started, now I advertised that we had a raffle, a giveaway, and I was at 3 o'clock. I was nervous because I didn't get a text to let me know who won, and I was like, oh man, I hope it worked. So it just so happened that the brother came in and he said, man, I got a text about the contest. I said, well, I ain't sent out another text. I said, did you register? He said, yeah, I registered this morning. I said, okay. And he showed me the text. Let me see your text. Brother Amuya.
Yeah.
Right. He showed me the text. I was like, thank God. So we was giving it away, and we're going to start doing raffles. And the text says, you have been, the first one, he said then, it says, you have been entered into the GNJ raffle. Prize will be awarded 8/31 at 3 p.m. at the GNJ Mall. You must be present to collect your $50 gift card. I said, oh, man. And now everybody got this. I'm like, oh, I'm about to hear it. But then it says, today at 3:30. Now, I'm paying for this act. It was supposed to happen at 3 o'clock. You have won the GNJ Mall raffle. Fine, Brother Hotel. He crept up behind me and was like, what? So, hey, I want to give it up. If y'all could, give him a round of applause. He got that $50 card. We're gonna be doing some type of raffle every month. So now I was in and out of the movie, but I'm quite sure that they cover all the areas of white supremacy. Am I correct? Correct. It was 8 parts. So is there anything in particular that anybody in here wants to bring up?
I like the end, the
Hold on. You said the who?
The corrective,
The corrective action.
and, about how we will, should start thinking about buying and sharing among ourselves. And, and how to get our young people to think, forward instead of, what they can't do, what you can do.
So she said she liked the corrective action part. Anybody learn anything new? Oh, you said about the cannibalism?
I know all of that.
She didn't know about the cannibalism. But hold on. Now we got to be clear because there is actual cannibalism, but there's also symbolic cannibalism, right? So when somebody is feasting on your culture, that's a form of cannibalism. They're eating you. Now, there's actual cannibalism where they eat you as well. That one is kind of spooky, but when you think about how people cannibalize our community socially and economically, it's just as bad. We just don't see it like that. We allow it to happen. So anything else? Uh-oh.
Just when you was talking about like the birth rates going down and like white people, so now they're trying to bring more awareness to opioids and things like that.
So when things start affecting their population, it becomes a national emergency. Like it's crazy how they treat their people. Check that. Well, no, it's not crazy. It makes perfect sense how they treat their people. So on my show, in the morning I go through the news, or sometimes when I'm not going off about something else, I go through the news, and there was a news article about white supremacist groups and how the FBI said that they didn't want to violate white supremacist groups' rights by tapping their phones and doing the things that they would do with the Black Panther part. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up here like, damn. And just like with the opiates, when it's a drug problem with them, because long before opiates hit their community, heroin was tearing up our community. We went straight from heroin to crack, and it was a problem, and people were predators, and they wasn't prosecuting large industries. But you hear about this whole opiate thing. They just sued Johnson & Johnson for something like $250 million. One state, because Johnson & Johnson is responsible for the drug crisis.
Let me say something. Hey, that's what they're supposed to do. It's our fault because you know a bunch of dope dealers, you know a bunch of crackheads and cocaine sellers and all that. So when the problems in your community, you was buying VCRs and stereos cheap from the from the dope fiend who was the electrician or the plumber. You know what I'm saying? We can't, that's our problem. We worried about what Caucasoids, Slavics are doing when they get in the heat of rage. But we're not doing it for, it's about what we doing.
They said that in the
You
film.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they said that in the
I'm
film.
not concerned about them doing the hell with them suing Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson that's just a name. He been sold that company. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So what's going on in our community is the fact that half of us still, we got educated. We went in with our fist pumped and came out with a check. You understand what I'm saying? And so and I am who I am as a Rasta man. But when I look around in our community, we are the most hypocritical people in the world. We big up LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and all these other people. We got more million and billionaires. When you go to Forbes and you'll see all of these billionaires, who's the most richest African right now? He's in Nigeria, on a concrete company, all over. We're not making him accountable, you see what I'm saying? When they said that we was brought over here on slaves, no, we was already here. First of all, some of us was brought here on the slave ship, not all of us. So I'm not giving these rookies no credit about all of this stuff that they say that was done. We did this to ourselves, and we're doing it right now. And this is saying this real quick. When we got all of this money going in, you know, you go through the Forbes and you go through all these things, you know, we're not putting back in our communities. We wait till the hunky come in and he downsizes, buy up your house that would sit right here as a crack house all these 20 years, and he bought it for $3,000 or $1. He fixed it up and he kicking us out, and then making you pay $1,900 for rent. Then we get mad about what he's doing. But you know, we can get together instead of, if I ain't Muslim, I ain't gotta be Muslim, I ain't gotta be Hebrew, I ain't gotta be Hotep. You know what I'm saying? We gotta come together, just like this school right here. I'm quite sure they don't ask every teacher what's their religion and what they believe in. You understand? I'm going to math class, science class, social studies, and that's what we're going to learn. So that's the same way. We see an empty building, they close the school down, we should be able to come together, get that school, and then have people in there teaching. We gotta take accountable for what is our hands on and not hands out.
I know when we first started out and I said corrective action, at the end of the movie, when they talked about how the different, I guess we would say, you know, we would consider the businessmen that were not at the level of the white European, might have been the drug dealers or the number runners that gave back to the community. And that's what, you know, that I want to see, you know, like us being able to use that, you know, instead of ostracizing, you know, those elements in our community. Don't see them as enemies, but see them as probably, you know, just starting out as probably doing the wrong thing, but made the money and want to get back. So that's where we should be, you know, like he's saying, you know, like we probably should take that money that going to the jails and when they arrest our young men or young ladies for drugs, we should be able to get some of that money and make sure that, you know, that money is not accounted in the white coffers that and goes out and builds up their communities. But we should be able to get that money and be able to do the things that we need to do in our community, because they always get the money and our boys get the jail time. Okay.
All right, anything else? Now, so I heard personal responsibility, right? Okay. And I heard we should be getting money, or we should be working with individuals in the streets, in a sense. Okay. And we are in a situation.
That's how they pay.
Well, we are in a situation, and it's our fault.
Put ourselves.
No, it's not. It started out, it's our fault. You know what? Because we fighting each other.
Okay.
We fighting each other. Can't nobody come in taking your house unless you occupied with doing something that you really shouldn't be doing. You should be loving your brother and understanding. So we fighting each other, and so they just took advantage of that. That's where our fault. We get mad because they took advantage of what we're doing to each other, and they had to survive. They ain't have food. They ain't have nothing. You see what I'm saying? They didn't create nothing. They ain't create no literature. They don't have anything. What happens is the civil war against us, amongst ourselves. And till this day, you got Bloods, Crips, you got Hotep, Islam, you got religion. You understand what I'm saying?
We always had that, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's until we get up out of that mindset. See, we can't get out of that first.
So hold on. Because I'm gonna push back, because there's a lot of things that you said that I want to kind of break down a little bit and really have a real discussion about it. The tribalism that you're describing, because that's basically what that is,
Right.
has always existed. But yet we had Mali, we had Kemet, we had different people with different beliefs able to come together. We had all these empires where you had different people that were able to come together, because those empires or those kingdoms were there. That's historical fact. So we have always been the same. It's something a little bit different now that's going on, right? And I hear you. All right, but this brother, he has something to say too.
Well, a lot of what Brother Man was describing, in my opinion, are symptoms of what the crack has been doing to us mentally for more than 400 years. And one thing that I see is the fact that we don't have any institutions. We're not willing, and I agree with you in a certain sense. We're going to have institutions to train and educate ourselves to see the world differently. Our perception of reality is distorted, and that's from listening and being educated by these white people. Because everything that they teach us or show us, all it does is benefit them. Nothing benefits us, you know, and that's not necessarily our fault per se, because we've been educated like that, because we allow our children to be in the education system. We had to make some changes, of course, but I'm never going to blame us totally. There's some things we can do different, but we got to understand that these white people are waging a systematic war against Africans. And until we see that reality, we're going to continue to do the same things we always do. And you know, in addiction, you continue to do the same thing, you're going to always get the same things you got. And our history tells us that we can do it, we can overcome it because we've done it before. You know, it's going to take a systematic, brick by brick, step by step grind to reclaim what is ours. You know, going to the religious system. You know, we're practicing an alien religious system. If you take an alien religious system, you're gonna be doing some insane things. None of the religious systems that is practiced currently throughout the world benefits Africans. And I consider myself an African. Period. No, I'm African. No matter where I am, I'm African. And what affects one Africa, one place, it affects another Africans everywhere. You know, I think we're one nation, one people, one culture. And we just need to start seeing things differently before we're able to do things differently. I'm not going to blame us. We make mistakes, we do some stupid stuff, but that's a result of. It's not because that's us. You know, that's all I got.
So also I want to ask this question. Because Mr. Islam said something about 60 prospering black communities prior to a certain time. See, because one of the problems I have is when we start looking at ourselves and saying what we're not doing. What we got to understand is that every strategy that could be employed, we have done. Every one. If anybody's in doubt, I challenge me historically. Matter of fact, I can tell you in Columbus, if you look at the Mount Vernon area, if you really know the history of this city, the Mount Vernon area was popping. And it was ours. But what happened? Absence of government. Now, you talked about all the black millionaires. I will challenge you on that, and I will push back on that. Because you might think there's a lot, but really when you compare it, and you look at the financial situation of black folks in America, it's not
1% of the total wealth. From 1900 to 2000, it ain't changed.
It ain't changed. We got the same amount of wealth that we had back in slavery. Now we got a few people that they prop up where we can be like, see, if he did it, you could do it. But the fact of the matter is, the fact, you talked about the Nigerian billionaire. Now, and this is going to piss people off about me. If you look at how that Nigerian billionaire would look at a lot of us, he don't see us as him.
I'm right there with you. I already know that half of Africa is, when you talk to Africans who are over here, they'll tell you, Africa is beautiful, but it's the people who are running, got the monies, and they are the ones, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing over here. You know what I'm saying? But now, that 1%, I don't need to have 20% or half. I don't need to be compared to that. That's what I'm going to say. We take our dollar and consume the Mount Vernon area.
Right.
When it's the same from Cincinnati to anywhere else.
All you got to do is follow the expressway.
All that happens is that when we had our own drugstore, our own bowling alleys, our own schools, we start selling ourselves. Hold on. What I'm saying is they close. When I grew up, I'm young, but when I grew up, my store sponsored me in sports.
Right.
I didn't have to sell water on the street corner to go to do certain things because I was sponsored by the neighborhood store. My grandmother wrote a note to the neighborhood store, and he was able to give me what I needed for my grandmother.
Right.
You see what I'm
Was
saying?
it a black man on there?
There
Or
was always a black man. My whole neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Big Mama's candy store, the small burger and whatever have you. But then what happens is somebody come in with a suitcase and they close up shop.
Where you from? Brother Axel.
I'm originally from North America, Cincinnati.
He's from Cincinnati. Now, all right, we got somebody back here. Brother Sean.
No, brother, I'm totally with you with personal responsibility, but I also want to look at the statistics and the numbers behind how we got to where we are. And the fact, if you look at the interstate highway system, when that got created in the early 40s and 50s coming out of World War II, that interstate highway system went through viable, strong, middle-class, diverse black communities, whether it was Florida, Ohio, New York. So you had a federal government that intentionally broke up communities that had doctors, lawyers, teachers of all spectrums, and they had the force of the federal government behind them. They could not maintain those communities. So now, once you put that interstate highway system, you got fragmented communities. I got a book at home that specifically talks about Ohio, I think from like 1800 to 1920, and it talks about a lot of different black enclaves in Ohio. Either they got ran over violently, or people took their land through, various legal means and methods. So I want to also hold, whether it's the state government, the federal government, accountable, because they did, through their machination, specific things that took property and wealth from us that we had nothing to do with. I mean, we did support our community, but we had people that came in and through violence and through economic means just took stuff from them.
Now, but even with the industries, at one point in time, we know we had some industries. But what happened? See, for example, when I was on Dr. Kelsey, for those that don't know, Dr. Kelsey is one of the elders in the community. Dr. Kelsey tricked me into politics. When I was young and working at APDS, he sent me to a meeting, and he said, when I got there, I ended up being put on one of these area commissions. And I was sitting in the area commission, and I started looking, it's a black neighborhood, but this whole area commission, a lot of them are white, and then at that point in time, gay people was moving in. So then one of the things that they would increase the rents, or the last 30 years needed a new roof, and it had to be made by somebody else. So we have had it unfeasible for us to even do some things. For example, we talk about industries. What about some of the barriers before you even get to the damn industry? I do kombucha. I would love to blow up with, I would love to do it because, but all the things after a certain point, and I can look at my friends and I know about putting together right now. Can we put together $1,000 in 2 hours? That's a question.
No. Can we do what?
Put together $10,000 in 2 hours.
Sure.
Without anybody going, I'm talking about right here in this room, without anybody going to jail.
Sure. If people really wanted to sacrifice for the cause, you could do that. First of all,
I'm asking in this room right now.
It could be. It sure could.
No. Right. See, because right now we don't have to go to coulds. We can talk about right now with the people that's in here right now. Now my bank account just became out of zero because I got paid. Now I'm just being honest. So I might be able to give $100 to that.
That's it.
Well, me personally, I don't do bank accounts, right? I do this. Article 1, Section 10 says nothing but silver and gold. So I have $10,000 worth of gold. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
I have $20,000 worth of silver. So what I'm saying is, when we learn, when you say politics is housing, food, transportation, education. That's politics. I don't deal with politicians. Politicians are politicians. So what I'm saying is, we supposed to deal. Article 1, Section 10 says that you should have no credit cards, no paper, no marquee. None of that shall be in existence for what you call monies. It just should be silver and gold. So when the Spaniards came over here, they didn't come here. They went and they seen Puerto Rico, the rich port, where was gold at. This is our land. That's why we're dealing with maritime law, because they're not dealing with the law of the land, because it's your land. So that's where the $10,000 is. When you say monies, If we understood economics and we understood what's really going on, how we're being governed, then we can enforce that. That's what Cuba and them did. They nationalized because it's their land.
So am I to understand you saying that you can pull together your 10,000 within 2 hours?
I mean, if I wanted to go where
No,
it's
I
at,
need a yes or no, brother.
I said if I wanted to go where it's
Brother,
at, it would be
give me
less
a
than
yes
2
or
hours.
no.
Less than 2 hours. If I
All
wanted
right, then it's a yes.
It's a yes for you. Now, so you could, everybody in this room.
I ain't say I could bail out everybody.
No, what I said, no, if the question was, hold
Now
on,
we
because
said bail
I
out
have to
people.
stand
You
corrected.
said, can we raise $10,000?
Can you write $2,000 a
And I said,
year?
I sure can, because I deal with silver and gold.
Okay.
Which a dollar means a silver coin, an ounce of silver.
Right.
That's what a dollar means.
That's 18. That's 18 American dollars.
And today,
Well, currency, right?
An ounce is worth $17. An ounce of gold is worth $1,500.
About 15, right?
You understand what I'm saying? So when I started, it was worth $1,100.
Right.
So what I'm just saying is, when we talk about economic, ousting his own land. See, he was trying to tell us, this is your land. The hunky don't own anything. Everywhere he go in the world, he's not a European. If you go to Europe, you'll see on their crescent is a brother that looks just like you. So all I'm saying is, when we get down to the nitty gritty and we really want to fight for something, then we can do it the way it's supposed to be done as a nation. But we still want to play their game and think that we're supposed to get somewhere. And their game is trickery and lies, and it's all fictitious. It's like a food stamp. So that's all I'm saying. The real deal is, see, they don't have silver and gold. They don't have land. They using your birth certificate. You signs off on it. Everything is a contract. Everything. Your application. What you an affidavit by an inter party, and I'm not doing anything to enter anybody's property or their personal space. So I done already went through this with them, with these hunkies. You don't need driver's license. You don't need license to barber. You can open up your own business. You don't need license. So what I'm saying is, when we really want to get down to it, then this is how we supposed to work. The force to sit on the front seat of the bus, they had to say, I'll walk. Are we willing to walk? Are we willing to say, I ain't gonna buy no gas, and I do this and do that, and then go into their pockets the way that they have things going on? No, we ain't willing to do that. We all about what I got. I got it. I'm doing it. I ain't gonna do that. That's in any ideology.
All right. So next, anything else that anybody want to pick up that you picked up in the movie?
Sugar.
Sugar. What you learn about the sugar? How you was out there vending?
I was running in, getting a little bit, running back out, getting a little bit.
Sugar.
The sugar, knowing that what it does to your nervous system, what it does to your body, revelations to me. I'm moving over to raw honey. It's sugar too, but it's a natural sugar and it's not processed. What are they putting in the sugar to granulate it to wake up the cells in your body to have your cells do certain things too? Another one, I don't know if they did that, but I'm concerned about. My God. Deep.
So the whole health piece.
Yes.
Health fair is a battlefield.
In you.
What you learned about it? What you want to share? You want to share something?
They didn't go really deep into the education piece. Obviously, it was really long and they hit on a lot of points. But I feel like the education part is gonna help actually make a difference. It's gonna actually change things. And like, I see a lot of little kids running around like they have to be the ones to know this stuff. A lot of the things that we've done in the past, you guys touched on. We had thriving cities. You know, they burned them down. My granddad was my granddaddy was good, like, you know, so I got a lot of history if you would, a lot of stuff that they touched on in there too, from him, like knowing those things growing up, I feel kind of made a difference between how the past and the things that I was able to do as a young person versus what a lot of young people are doing. So I just think that the education piece is really, really, really important, and not continuing to put our children in these institutions and these infrastructures that don't have their best interests at heart. I don't have any children yet, but a lot of my friends and family and a lot of little kids running around, and I just couldn't imagine putting them through some of the things that I see that their parents that are, whether it's lack of knowledge, they just don't know, they're not doing it on purpose, they're not purposely trying to hurt their children. I feel like the education piece is really, 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 really important. It's not much that, a lot of people in this room will be able to do at this point, but a lot of little kids around, like say,
Kwame up here.
No,
Black Yoda.
I would say, sister, that there's plenty that we in this room could do to help educate our children. A lot of us here be saying, each one, teach one. My favorite thing is to, whenever an opportune moment presents, then you take advantage of that. And we find a way of integrating those things that are referred to as the maths and sciences and language arts and those things. When we find a way of integrating that into the lives of our children in a way where it matters to them, that's when the message will really stick. And I think that's what they're waiting for.
And Ms. Wilson, if anybody has never seen any of this stuff, and Ms. Wilson breaks down the whole education piece and the importance of education, because we, in most cases, the curriculum that our children are experiencing is not a nation-building curriculum for us. Like he said, everything that we do, everything that we learn benefits somebody else. So we got to start learning how to redirect that. You know what I'm saying? As the brother said, we got to pull up, pull some of our children out. Or better yet, when we got institutions like this, learn how to take advantage of us. You know what I'm saying? So that we can take the time, because there's nothing wrong with us having a Saturday school if we, like I said, if we serious about it. Huh? Oh my God.
Bring them back in the house and still teach them about themselves.
Right.
And, I totally agree. That's the way out, right? If they don't know anything else aside from what America is telling them, then all they know is that. And then what? Then they think they're supposed to, be welcoming and kumbaya to everybody and not be able to point out who's their enemy.
Right. Anything else? Because the only area, because there's 9 areas, so I guess the only area they didn't really cover was war. Go ahead.
The whole thing was war.
Say what?
Indeed, duh.
What he was saying about, understanding what paper is, what gold and silver. Economics is going to benefit us, so that when they get out of school, they don't have to go over and get a job at the master's. They can get a job in their own community. How, like, your kids are putting burgers in their own country, in their own culture, so they can get something in there. We need to have a product of what,
Right, a staple.
taken.
Everything, right.
And so, like, if we understand gold and silver, and we don't need papers in order to open up businesses, then we would be able to, go ahead and get ourselves ready so that we can do things, so that when we bring the young people in here, we don't have to sell their potato chips, we sell our own potato chips. We don't have to sell, anything that we don't manufacture.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Well, you might have to go and talk loud because the batteries
That's
went up.
good, that's good.
Battery went up?
Look, I understand the world system, this Western system that we reside in presently. And there are some intrinsic, albeit maybe some esoteric reasons why gold and silver have their value. But you don't bathe in it. You don't clothe yourself in it. You don't eat it. What are the, you know, look, we need things to, I suppose you could build a house in it, but
It'd be expensive.
but all I'm saying is that if I didn't know there was gold, and I'm a hungry man, I'm looking for food. If I'm a man out in the cold and I need a place to reside, I'm looking for shelter. If, again, I am in an environment where clothing is needed, whether it's to stave off the cold, or in some cases, to even shade from the sun. I'm not looking for gold. I'm not looking for silver.
But he didn't say that was gold and silver. He just said the word was gold and silver. The gold and silver are land, house, and heat.
No, what he's saying is that you can't, gold, silver, paper money are mediums of exchange. You exchange them for the basic needs that he's talking about.
Oh, I didn't understand him.
Right, we exchange them, because even when we talk about gold and silver, we're talking about exchange rate in money
No,
or in currency.
what you were saying, brother in the yellow shirt? I was saying that the money, that the gold and silver were just words or land. That was your house.
That we're dealing with amnesty and maritime law is yours. It produces everything. So I don't care about your sugarcane field was ours. So in the Caribbean, they was in the sugarcane field up here north. We and when I came up and I graduated from high school in 90, just say this, in 90, right? We had vocational class. I took a vocational of carpentry, of accounting, and policing. These were vocational classes. So what I'm saying is we had these know-hows. It's right there. You go down to Florida, they call Georgia the peach place. You go in these certain areas in our country. This is our country, North America. And you go to South America, Central America. They got coconuts. We got food. You understand? The earth provides for us. What we don't do is, how many people own land? How many people know how to farm? You see what I'm saying? Who in your backyard? Not just here. I ain't talking about here, but you understand what I'm saying? When I go in right here on Lockbourne, not to talk about, but all my Mexican neighbors, they live in the project. But right on the side of the project, he got peppers, he got cucumbers. You understand? They growing, even though they only got a little small space to grow in. See, we're looking for, like you said, genetic and processed food. We're looking for the easy way out, for somebody to already give it to us when we lost, when we was giving it to ourselves. You know, say, they tell you, if you want to get back to things, go back to what your mama and your grandmama did, which was, they would tell you, go out in the field, baby, and give me that olive oil or whatever it was that they needed. See, we lost those things because we got they gave us what they like, you know, it's a give and take thing. You know, our thing was entertainment. We became entertainers. And as entertainers, now we done forgot about the whole little process of living. And now even in entertaining, you know, people don't even own their own rights to entertainment. So now they're telling you what you can put out and what they're going to accept. And it's all about kill, kill, kill. When my young brothers asked me to buy a CD, the first thing I asked them is that CD, do your songs talk about killing us and selling dope to us and degrading your woman, your mother? My mother. I'm like, yeah, you're the black woman. So when I don't support that.
Right.
And when I was coming up, I used to go to the radio station, and me and my crew, we would stand outside and threaten the DJ if we keep playing Too Short and all these other, and Ice T's and Ice Cubes, and wasn't playing Public Enemy and things of that nature. This is what I was about coming up. I went around my school at 16, gave up I ain't proud of it now, but I gave up a scholarship to Tuskegee when I was coming up because I started listening about self. I got knowledge of self. So it was a battle in the streets, and now I'm in the streets right now doing these things, petitioning to change the curriculum. I'm on news stations about changing, 16, 17 years old.
Now,
So this ain't my first go around. What I'm saying is, back then I used to be like, well, what y'all gonna do when I get older? Is we gonna still be arguing when Naeem Akbar, when I worked at Artistic Apparel, and we was bringing the black bookstore and bringing Alatala, Naeem Akbar, and the brother who created Kwanzaa and all this. So you understand what I'm saying? We doing the same thing, but we ain't doing nothing. We can do something more than, we got the history books. We got brothers selling more history books and all that. Let's do something.
well, actually, there is something happening. Now, and this is the issue. A lot of times, we be in the midst of something happening, not even realizing that we're in the midst of something happening. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we can't see the forest for the tree.
Yeah, man.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, right now, you're in a building that is controlled essentially by us. Well, we're able to do them all once a month, and I'm able to get maybe 100 people. I don't know where you're from. This is my first time seeing you possibly here. But like I said,
usually I'll be set up outside with the roster flag.
Oh, that's wow! But hush my mouth. You gotta correct me because like I said, I believe in being wrong. You're right, I do, because matter of fact, you set up the little thing for the kids to get up there and jump on and stuff. So thank you for your support.
I bring my personal bouncer for the youth and all that.
But we got all these people that are talking about stuff, but when stuff is happening, they don't participate. Now, but as he said in there, one of the major pieces that I picked up is that we don't have to save everybody. Now, because me and you, one of the things we want to agree on is the whole sovereignty idea, where all we have to do is this piece, because the whole piece is what controls the land is not necessarily who controls the gold, but who controls the military. Because at one point in time, we had industries that were able to go up against some of their industries, but as soon as we start becoming competitive, either they change the rules, like you seen with that, what's the boy's name that worked with LeBron James? With Rich Paul. Rich Paul did their game the way that they wanted to do it, got better than them, and all of a sudden, we got this. Now we need to change the rules, and you got the Rich Paul rules. Another example Elder gave me was Nat King Cole. I ain't get on Byron Island yet. See, now, Nat King Cole was so cold with it and had such a good team that they set it up that he paid taxes in advance so that all of his royalties was tax-free, so him and his family would be rich for the rest of their lives. Once the IRS got hold of that and found out about that, they changed the rules. Now, we have always did all this stuff because, when I'm talking to my people and we start talking about what we ain't doing and what we haven't done, I get upset because it's obvious that we have not studied history. Obvious. What the hell was Marcus Garvey doing? What did he do wrong? He followed every damn law. He was in a sense sovereign. And all of a sudden, he got snatched up for absolutely nothing. He disappeared. I had an opportunity to sit with Geronimo Pratt, who was put in a goddamn prison cell for 26 years. And my fault, 26 years later, they found him innocent for the crime that they said he did. 26 years. As a matter of fact, they would come and they would weld the door shut to mess with his mom. This is the story that I got from him.
First 4 years in solitary confinement.
First 4 years.
We brought him in Cincinnati to UC
right.
when he first got out.
Right. He got out, he came to our town. He said he chilled with us. He wouldn't give nobody else an interview. He gave me an interview. He said, brother, that what I'm about to give you, Oprah offered me $1 million for. I brought him to the cabin with me and some of the kids. He sat there and he chopped it up. As a matter of fact, historical fact, most people will tell you that Geronimo Pratt was a Black Panther. False. He was a deacon of defense that was sent to California to go there and train those young men because the elders in Louisiana didn't feel that they knew what they was doing.
But he still had a bottle in his back pocket of wine that he told me he wasn't offered his wine. He still kept a bottle of wine in his back pocket.
He was very serious, but he was able to communicate with the people. But the point I'm saying is, because the whole piece, my whole beef is, when it comes to us doing stuff, the major hurdle for us has always been government. Whether they activated troops against us, or allowed troops to be activated against us, or refuse to defend us against their masses that will come at us. Now, because I'll even push back on the point that some of us was here, but I could trace my family right back to a slave ship. I've done it. You know what I'm saying? So part of us already being here, yeah, some of us was. But I know that at least 3 parts of my family, three quarters of my family all came off a slave ship.
And same here, I got pictures to show. I go all the way back to the late 1700s, early 1800s, where my great-great-great-granddaddy walked from Virginia over to Danville, Kentucky, and on his death certificate it says Ethiopia. And half of my family, of the free people, they went to Liberia on that little Clint. There was Clay, Washington, and Rudolph, these hunkies who came together and they put together these ships and bought the land over in Liberia and took the free Africans because they was tired of these brothers who was here snatching up their slaves, killing them, and you see what I'm saying, and killing hunkies. So they, half of my family went there and half of us stayed here. I understand what you're saying. Some of us don't get down to the nitty gritty to really find out who you are and what you are, your pedigree.
And what we've been doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't like we settle for the illusion that because one of us made it, we all feel good about it. Like this deal with Jay-Z and the NFL. People gonna take that as reference. $117 trillion. We might control $3 trillion of that. Coming up in a time where we know big bank take little bank because we learned that in the street. So almost any industry that we get in, unless you are totally dedicated, you will not be able to keep it. Because I will buy you out, or I will buy out everything around you to keep you from being successful. That's what we're in. So I'll play by that rules, or I'll get gold, and I'll get silver. Then all of a sudden, what happens when the price drops? Because the price has dropped on gold before. The price has dropped on silver before. Those markets are controlled and are able to be manipulated too.
Everything is.
Right. Now, the issue is, one of the avenues that we have to really look at is politics. Because you say you don't mess with
politicians.
You don't mess with politicians.
Politics.
But that young man, is that your baby?
Yes, sir.
Would you be able to trust him if he ran for office?
Yeah, I sure could.
Okay.
I don't trust no man, because every man will let you down. I can barely trust myself. But what I'm saying is, what we have to learn how to do is do what it's just like the mob did. You put your babies into politics, and then I was just talking to Lumina the other day. I asked him, how many checks have you wrote? How many checks have we written to give? That's why he was like, well, the politician, Mingo was in office as the auditor, then nobody supported him. And you understand? I'm just saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I asked him, how many checks have you, whether it's $5, $1, you understand what I'm saying? Because I understand how politics work and the game work as far as the little man. Is when you get a check written to you, then he'll call you up and be like, look at here, my secretary, this is such what my secretary was telling me. I see you wrote me a check, and that's when things get done. You see, because now they see that you are paying attention to what they supposed to be doing, and then who it is. But what we say is, that Negro ain't came down here and did nothing for us, and because the Jew boy writing him a check. So what check have you came together? I'm talking about as a whole. As a whole,
Right.
we should be able to say that everybody got $5, $10 or whatever, and this money is going to I don't have to understand politics. One person do. And then when he go into that meeting, he come back and he inform us, this is what's going on, brothers, sisters. They getting ready for the housing, and they getting ready for this. They getting ready for the highway, this and that, and this is what it's all about. And then here's the brother. You understand what I'm saying? And not, it ain't gotta, it just gotta be somebody who working for you.
Right.
And they work for you because you writing them a check.
Thank you. Thank you.
You sending them so you got your hands on and not your hands out. That's all I'm saying, brother. And when we understand that they took an oath, they have an oath and bond. A bond number that you can put a lien out on them, and they have an oath. They hit the oath. We wrote the Constitution. We are the Confederate. That's what the 5 civilized tribes, if you ever went down to Cincinnati to the underground museum, you'll see the 5 civilized tribes were the Confederates. And we were them. All they're doing is taking our positions, our place. We're the republic. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're not Democrats. We're not Democrats. Democrats were the Klansmen. The Republic was the brothers and the sisters. The Republic of the land, United States Republic. America is North America, South America, and Central America. We own all of this. I'm against the United States, not America. I'm American. I'm citizen of the United States. America.
Hold on. All right, you remove yourself from the very thing that may be able to get you some of the stuff that you need.
No, this is what I try to do. I try to enforce law. There's legal and there's law. They took an oath to uphold the law, and then they come. The United States is a corporation, so they come with corporate codes and things. So I try to enforce the law because it's your right. So what we doing, we fighting against each other because we're not. This one, I am, and you have the right to be who you are. But if we fight against everybody, if everybody's going this way and you're going that way and you're going that way, then it's hard to enforce the law. That's what they're living off of secretly. They're living off the law and they're enforcing legal statutes and codes on you. That's why you said they changed the game up. They changing it up. And we got to know about our state. We got to know about 2 different people in the world, status. So when we deal with status, we deal with jurisdiction, we deal with law. And I'm saying it because I done went before them and I ain't go to jail. My case has been, and they recognize me through law. But now it is hard to do certain things because everybody's not aware of law. When you go to court as a lawyer, they don't tell them law, they tell them about statutes and codes, which are slave codes, to keep us in bondage. And then they give them the realization of how things will work. This is what the law is, this is what it is, this is what it is. And then they move it, they'll be like, well, damn, how come I ain't got it? Well, it's out there. That's what your promissory note is. That's what your birth certificate is. That's what your social, they tell you right now. When they give you a social security, who you should give your social security number to? No one. And then when they ask you for it, that's against the law.
And it's the first thing they do.
But, all right, now, because I hear you. It's against the law for them to ask for that social security number. But if you are not an American citizen or U.S.
No, I'm
citizen.
an American. I'm not a United States citizen.
So if you are not a United States citizen, you shouldn't have a social security number.
No, I have one because on my birth certificate it says informant. You know who that is? who know the informant is? Mother. No, my protected. God is my ability to protect.
Listen,
What I'm saying,
God has never won a war.
Listen,
God has never won a war.
God won every war.
No,
That's
God
why
has never
every
won a
day
war.
I wake up. I am.
We can listen.
Listen, the Most High, the Creator of all
The
creation, whatever you
Creator,
want.
the Most High, whatever you want to call him, the Creator has never won a war.
Listen, he don't
Men win wars, and the only way that you can really enforce anything that you're talking about is having a military. That's it. That's
I understand what you're
now,
saying.
hold on.
I understand
Because listen, if we was just able to talk our way up out of this, we'd have been did that, man. Because what you got is cold. But it's nothing compared to what Marcus Garvey had. It's nothing compared to what Malcolm X had. Because they had, their terms draw thousands of people.
And they didn't shoot Marcus Garvey.
Hold on. No, but they deported his ass. And they sent him back to a country where he had no respect.
Because of why? They deported him because, I'm going to show you, of law and legal terms. He was claiming to be something that he was not. So they was able to go into that little etymology of wordplay.
No, they was able to snatch his ass up and put him on a boat and say, nigga, you better not come back.
You got 15, listen, guess what? But you got million behind him. Mosque, it wasn't happening. We turning over this motherfucking car, and I'm gonna show you this. When I was 17, and they tried to arrest a brother in the hood, and it was one officer, I told him this ain't going down. I done lived in Chicago, Cabrini Green, 714 West Division. This one policeman is not gonna come in here and arrest, and they like, what you gonna do, Bo? I picked up a brick and slammed it in there, and somebody picked up the garbage can, somebody punched off, and next thing you know, she unhooked dude and jotted up out of there.
What she was supposed to do? What did she run off to do?
She went and got her cavalry.
Exactly.
But guess what? We was in the hood, we was comfortable where we was at. Didn't nobody go to jail. Didn't nobody get shot. You understand what I'm saying? All I'm saying is that
you showed the show of force right there.
and I understand what you're saying. That we got to have some type of army.
We got to be organized, and we have to have a what?
We got to have an army, and we do. You know what they call themselves?
What?
Crips, Bloods, Rolling
Nah,
Sixties,
but hold on.
Disciples,
I agree with you.
Black Peace Stones. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This was these. But what happens is when they send you out, just like they gave the vice lords and them the $1 million of the brothers, the $1 million in Chicago, then just because he messed up $2,000.
Right.
$2,000. But he told them in court, ain't nobody getting killed if any of us get killed, then that's what's gonna happen to you. That's why they still got Larry Hoover locked up and all these type of things. Our army is on the streets killing each other and don't know that when they got a lick. I'm not a banger, but I done read things. I got brothers who are. They got a lick that they supposed to take care. When I lived in Chicago, we ate breakfast off of the disciples. We ate lunch off of the disciples. They fed us.
Right.
They wasn't no killing. They would make me go get my grandmother's mailbox key to put the gun in there for the police. Police didn't come in the neighborhood. After the mailman ran, the guns was in the mailbox. Wait, and there's no police. And when they came, the whole precinct came for a traffic ticket. This all I'm saying is that what they did is did a gender thing. You could be a girl if you were a boy. You could be a boy if you were a girl. So we confused. Like you said, there's a mental thing going on. You see what I'm saying? But it don't work unless we push it. Because they always been out there with these Daisy Duke shorts. I'm talking about men running around here looking all crazy. They always been doing that. This ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? They always been raising their little boys as girls. There's a movie called Sleepaway Camp. You can go see back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? They always been doing it. But when we participate, that's when it's working. For the rest of the West, when it's all good, and they've been having Al Capones and drive-by shootings. I don't care about that. But when we participate, that's when it's all downfall for us. Mm-hmm. We looking at them like, oh yeah, they doing it, so why can't we do it? They've been doing it. When they women couldn't vote, our women was the ruler of the house, and she didn't have the same problem as they women throwing their bras off in the streets. That was something totally different. But we make their issues our issues, and it's not that.
Now, but back to the military piece. I hear you. I hear you. But back to the military piece. Those statutes that you're talking about are supported by power, by military power, by military force. The police force is a military force, because I hear you about nobody going to jail, but the statistics don't stand with you on that in Chicago, home. I'm just letting you know. Because in Chicago, they have what they got mapped out called $1 million blocks.
Yeah.
Where they get enough brothers that from that block, they count up $1 million off of all the brothers that's in that block. So them, the vice lords or the GDs, they're not controlling it like that.
I understand.
You see what I'm saying? Because now, and then on top of going all the way back to the billionaires, how many black billionaires is it here? Now we can talk about around the world, but we already know that those individuals might look like us, but they're not really us that are billionaires. How many of them is it? And then on top of that, let's even look at the middle class that we once had, because at one point in time, family, we were doing it. And we got that we, but that doesn't alert. Period. We let the politics up. Once we got supposed civil rights, everything was cool. Once we was able to work at the post office, everything became cool. We didn't continue to fight. We dropped the ball. And then on top of that, we let those who owed us off the hook. And we all know from the street, we all know how that goes. If you owe me money and I'm not pressing you about my money, is that something I'm supposed to let go? So how is it like that in politics? They have a law right now, the 1866 Civil Rights Bill, that was written specifically for us, that right now Comcast is trying to go to court and get rid of. Make it so it's impossible to enforce. Right? But I mean, like I said, if you're not in the United States, it don't make a difference to you, but to me it makes a difference. Because this calls out stuff that is supposed to be happening. Because regardless if we were here or we was brought over here, at some point in time something was put in the Constitution directly for us, and they are straight bombing it right now.
What is civil rights? What is civil rights?
See, now, all right, cool. Let's get down into it. What is civil rights? See, because now, if we go here, then we're going to have to go here with everything, because it's like sometimes we get so goddamn deep that we miss the point.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we can go in and we can break down civil rights, but we know that for a long time, grandfather and my grandfather could not have side.
I understand what you're saying, like on certain things, but you know, me just being a youngster of what I am, like I always said this, like it was somebody's fault for wanting to go to Hunky's diner and get his hamburger when he didn't want you in there. I don't want to. Why? And greater than what he had was, you understand, morals, dignity, and we had family. We had these things.
There's a podcast you need to listen to by a brother by the name of Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell broke down the Brown versus Board of Education. See, because a lot of times we miss the point. We thinking it's about us wanting to eat at their restaurant. No, the fact was that as American citizens, as we say, or as we was told that we were supposed to be, I should be able to eat any goddamn where. Because my taxes pay this goddamn road right here. Every time I buy a piece of gum, every time I buy a cigarette, my money is going into a city piece. And if your thing is on a block where my tax money has laid down concrete so I could walk, I should be able to go there.
That's right.
But you should have had your own anyway.
No, but hold on, you see, you're missing the point. But what I'm saying, see, because now, in that video, in that documentary, the brother break down the fact that Brown versus Board of Education was never about the kids going to a school. The case was that he was mad that his daughter couldn't go to that school if he wanted to go there.
I understand that so hardly, right? All I'm saying is civil is a contract. You got a contract between two people. It's just like with child support. You know what I mean? That's a contract. So when you come into court, you're talking, and our brother's getting locked up in the court. In the Ohio Constitution, it says no man shall be locked up for civil.
But it's happening.
But I understand because they never read this in the.
See, but
no,
even
somebody's not teaching them. They never read it, and they don't know how to enforce it.
Have you ever been called up for child support?
Yes.
And you refused to pay it?
Yes.
And you didn't lose a license. Oh, but you didn't have a license.
No, listen.
Go ahead.
I at the time I had license. I gave it back to him. This is when I started getting information on law and legal. And every time I got 7 children, and then when I kept going into court for these 3 children of mine that's grown, and they kept talking about child, I'm like, I'll take care of my children. And you know, I was saying things, but I wasn't saying it lawfully. You understand what I'm saying? So I kept telling them, you could bring my children in here and, you know, and see, my children ain't in your system. They fed, they clothed, they housed, you know, these were the things. But then when I learned that my argument was, I was addressing my argument wrong. So when I went, this last time I went back, it was, well, do you have a contract? Do I have a contract with my children's mother and you on paying child, because that's a civil case. Child support is a civil, and
So you're paying something?
No, I don't pay anything.
But
and they stopped sending me.
But you have a legal agreement.
They stopped messing with me. And then let me show you.
Go ahead.
When I got pulled over up here on Hilliard, and I didn't have my license and all that, and he looked through the thing, he said, well, we don't have nothing to do with the child support thing. And I wanted to go to court for child support. I begged him to listen, I'm only 100 miles away from Cincinnati.
Right.
I got a brother from Alabama that they brought all the way back up here for child support. So I knew that was crazy. And now to this point, I went back to Hilliard because I'm an herbalist and they stole a jar of my herbs. I don't deal with marijuana, ganja, weed. So I went back to Hilliard 3 times, demanded my herbs back. And they were so upset. I got the paperwork to show you. It's dismissed for all any cases. And the lady, and when I took him to court, the judge, the magi looked at the prosecutor and said, wench, what you gonna do? After I enforce law, because first of all, no magi called judge can operate law from the bench, which is terminology is bank. He's a referee to make sure that a sworn affidavit from the injured party, which they don't have, because I didn't injure nobody. And you can't go to jail for a civil case unless it's in the midst of a fraud. That's the Ohio Constitution, Bill of Rights.
This all kind of just relates back to the education for young black children.
Because we're not black. I'm not black.
Okay,
Your dress is black. Black is an adjective that describes something.
I'm not black.
No, I'm not black.
I'm black.
That's good. That's good. Listen, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But this is what I had to, this is what I defended in the courtroom. I'm not a Negro, colored, black, mulatto. See, you're too many things. Afro-American, African-American. So you have to define yourself. So when they ask me, well, who are you? I am that I am. That's it. No, hold on. What I'm saying is, when you say black, see, they came in a dispensation of time period, and black was a Christian slave, was a Catholicism slave code. So they had to put you as a property of somebody. So now you becoming somebody's property by not.
That's under
Catholicism.
What? That's under Catholicism.
I'm saying when the Pope and the Queen Elizabeth took over your land, they had to take you out of your national identity, what tribe you was from.
So hold on. The only way that can happen is if they dominate you. Because the only way I can change, in a sense, what you're saying is the only way they can officially change your status and it be recognized is if they dominate you.
Or you dominate yourself.
But but even if I dominate myself, but it's up under them, they're still dominating.
Have you ever seen the contract that you spend every day? What hunky ever built a pyramid? This is a contract. This is a legal contract. It shows your government and their corporation became one in this land. That's what friendship and peace treaties are. They got treaties with Ghana, they got treaties with Nigeria, they got treaties with every nation. But they don't uphold their promises and treaties now. Don't get me wrong, but here's something that they can't do because the world knows about them. That you can't operate over here, hunky, unless you have the Constitution and you have a contract. And they're waiting for us as Negroes to wake up and claim our rightful status and heir to the throne of this land and every part of the land. That's why they have to deal. We don't own no ships, like you said. We don't own no. They rule in the air and the water. But everywhere they go, when they go on vacation, they go to Jamaica, Bahamas, Trinidad, Brazil. All this is us. So they mad because they don't own no land. This is a legal contract. Holding up a piece of paper that's on here it says this is a legal tender note. This is a note. A dollar bill is an ounce. They trick people to think that this is a dollar bill. You can't have a dollar bill when you look it up in any language. A dollar bill is an ounce of silver. So paper can't be bonds, T-bonds and bail bonds. Right. This is how the world is working. They're buying bonds in the national debt that we're under here in North America. You're the till this day, every 50 years, that's what Barack did, and they mad at him. Every 50 years, the treaty gets re-signed, and they put us into the United Nations, and so they have to, what we're saying to them is this: we're allowing the hunky to speak for us. That's it. So when we decide to speak for ourselves, we're going to have to do what Cuba and them did. We're going to have to claim our nationality, nationalize. I don't care what you say your nationality is, but you can't be two people at one time. So this is law. So when they ask me to pay a ticket is a lawsuit. So I didn't pay no tickets. I'm not paying no tickets. You can't ticket me. You can't do any of that. I don't pay taxes. I got all my stuff in the car from every corporation, whether it be Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart. I do not pay taxes. You don't have to. On your check, when you have the right to work and all that, so on your check, in the IRS, there's a lady, a sister. She went to jail for 3 years trying to teach us that we didn't have to pay taxes on our payroll tax, on our wages. And that's a voluntary tax that you're paying to the hunky, to a personal family who owns that, and he's sending his children. That's not a government tax about the roads and all that. Gas and oil and cigarettes, all that stuff is already taxed. Everything that's sold over here is already taxed. The corporations pay the taxes, and they trick you to paying their taxes for them. So all I'm saying is, when we start educating our children, I teach my children these things. My daughter, when she goes to work for Jazzy G's or whatever, that she's not getting no interest on her money, but then I make her go down here and we go buy ounces of silver. So she started off buying 16. So her there's all kinds of forms when you fill out. You can fill out W-2 or 1099. You understand what I'm saying? You have to make that proclamation to the IRS and to the corporation and say, I don't want no taxes coming out of my check. So and then when they want to tax you, you send the form to the IRS and let them know that you don't. There is no law for you to pay tax. You're not paying tax. You got to know these forms.
When they come to enforce that,
I'm saying once you enforce it. because she worked for the IRS. She was her name is I got it.
I listen.
Cheryl Jackson.
Right. It's
Cheryl
easy to
Jackson.
find. It's easy to find.
She worked for the IRS, and when you work for certain companies, they make you sign what's called non-disclosure. You understand what I'm saying? So in this, she was doing things under contract. So once she did her time, now she goes around speaking, and she getting paid buku money now just speaking because she's out of the contract, and now you understand what I'm saying? But before, she was just a sister that was happy she retired and all this. Her family kept asking her about it, and she was trying to tell people when she went to research, because there's a man in New York to this day that's giving you $50,000 if you can show him one law that you have to pay taxes on your wages. See? So what Trump did is when they kept saying we want to see your taxes and all this, he did what we should be doing. Instead of running, he created what's called put your stuff in the not a will, but a trust. He put it in a trust. And once he put it in a trust, and his lawyer came out and said, "Well, Mr. Trump is doing the trust." You ain't heard them say nothing since. And he's still on that bid.
I still hear people asking for the tax.
Because the trust, you can't mess with the trust, because the trust belongs to, like, your corporation.
Your corporation. You're
Not
supposed to be
their
the executive.
corporation, but your corporation. And if they wanted to sue, they can't sue you.
They got to sue the corporation.
You got to sue the corporation.
But they can't sue something.
But they can't get nothing because they can't get the nothing from the trust.
They can't get nothing from the trust.
You
So
see what I'm saying?
your trust, that's what we're supposed to have in
I have a
the
question. How many of us in here got enough money to do a trust?
Huh?
How many people in here got enough money to do a trust?
No, a trust, no. You don't have to have no money. You put your house in the trust, your car in the trust, your boat in the trust. You put your children in the trust, and that's how when Europeans get 18 years old, they already know. That's why they be telling people them policy enforcers, constables on patrol, which stands for cop. They're not officers because you didn't elect them. See, so I don't give them any power that they don't deserve. A deputy is a deputy, and the only person that got elected was the sheriff and the chief.
See, if your house is in a trust, then it don't go to probate.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because probate is a lawyer that gonna get some money from it.
Family, let me. Now. The west to the north, and in the way in doing this, they put it purposely. As a matter of fact, you can look and see it for yourself. When you drive on 70, where 70 and 71 cross, there's a little twist in there.
All in our neighborhood.
All in our neighborhoods, where they make sure it come right through our neighborhoods. So we're talking about now. Hold on. Let me say something to you about the people that we're dealing with. I don't give a hell. This ain't our usual cuss. I don't care about none of the law or none of the fancy talk that we come about. If they wanted to know what they want to know about him, or they want to take all his money, they would do it because they got the force. We as you say, we on our own land. The reason they control our land is not because they fooling us with laws. It's because they have a military that could go active on us at any given time. And they have an active military that's rolling through here all the time. That if you catch one on the wrong day, talking some of that shit, regardless of whether you right or not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because we all seen Philando Castile, who was legally carrying, even within their own law. He had followed the statute, or what we call it. When they pulled him over, that motherfucker felt fear, he blasted him. Period. Now, so how do you deal with this? How do you deal with this? So I can go to court, see, because sometimes what people don't understand, sometimes it's easier for me to let you go than I possibly have to kill you up in here. You know, another thing that you're watching the police, if the police know who you are, they'll let you get away. You know why?
I'm going back to trust right now. One thing about, if you don't have your property or something in a trust, then okay, and I died. My stuff not in the truck. I'm stuff not in the I died out with my brother and my children. Paid. If the house ain't paid for, they got to pay the note on the house.
So you saying that?
But if it's in a trust, then you know it still belongs to them. But they don't have to pay the house. They don't have to pay the note on the house once I die.
Come on, man. Hold on. I go out. Because I want you to understand what you just said to me.
Yeah.
I go out. I purchase a $300,000 home.
Right.
I put it in the wait. Hold on. Let me finish. I put it in the trust for my kids. I make the first payment. The next month I hit the bus. Go ahead.
If you go down to the bank right now, any of y'all, if y'all think y'all own a house, your house was already paid for 300 times because they separated the note and the deed. Now this is contract law. You separate in the deed. Go to the bank right now. I'm talking about other folks. Don't own the house. Paying on it. Go down and say, hey, I just want to check out the little note in the deed. And they gonna say that. You know what they gonna say? They sold it to a third party. And then that third party done sold it. And then that third party done sold it. So your house was paid for 30 days after you went and put your signature on that, hold on. 1933 House Joint Resolution 192, the United States was under bankruptcy and dissolved. So that means every state under the United States, its territory is bankrupt. So what they did was they created something called birth certificate and social security numbers again. So everything you own was actually already previously paid for you. But the hunky look at it like, well, damn. He looked around, he seen all these brothers owning their land after slavery, you understand me? Sharecroppers and everything. That's why he had to say, hold on, come back. I know we promised you 40 acres in a mule, but and then that little hunky with that he was like, oh, Billy, this nigga got a piano. And I ain't even got a piano. And Rosewood, remember? He said, you got a piano? Yeah. He said, shit, they were so jealous of it. The walls, Black Wall Street, like you said, I understand. We had these walls. But what I always, as a youngster, what I always looked at, the problem is that we had more older folks than young folks. You understand? I mean, statistically, like nowadays when I was growing up, they were like babies having babies. You see what I'm saying? So now if you look around, you see all these young folks around. You got a lot of young, so they really scared that if something happened, and then when you say like with me, see, I'm involved with the community, I'm involved. So they already, I mean, they know who I am. I told you from 16 years old. Yes, they know who we are.
They do.
You see what I'm saying? So they know if I mess with the wrong person, we gonna get some heat on us that we ain't gonna want. We'll open up a can of worms that but we've been trying to keep. You understand what I'm saying? So of course they know who to shoot and not. My oldest daughter, Sam DeBose, was her stepdaughter, her stepdaddy. He got shot in UCU and they shot it and they kept showing it. Wow, the UC police. You know what I'm saying? She's the oldest of his youngest three. You understand? And just before he got shot, I was trying to tell him, brother, like this certain things you gotta be doing, brother. We just out here like so and such and such and such. But the people know who you are, right, and if you a pillar to the community or not.
So, but bring it back, because we was on the trust.
Yes, sir.
And how
notes and deeds.
Right, notes and deeds.
Notes
and you got all this, right? Now, and
in court.
I'm having a real issue with this. You understand? Because the bottom line issue is that if this land was owned by a southern people and they came in and took it without any qualms, right? If they took territory from us that we already had, because let's be clear about this. The reason the white folks down south got the land back from the 40 acres and the mule was that Andrew Jackson basically got rid of Reconstruction. Totally got rid of it and gave everything back to Southern trade. Period. Let's be clear about this.
It's a reason why.
No, even with the reason, the government supported him giving territory back to people that were supposedly fighting against the country. Now, taking it from you. Right? The only way
Amistad. The other one was Amistad. The Amistad was about contract. Who are you? I'm not a Negro. I'm not, see what I'm saying? So when these people and the Southern people started calling, they was accepting themselves to be Negroes. They're not Negroes.
Bruh, listen to me. I'm information. But how does that it's like boom, you're not a Negro, but and you claim as a Negro, regardless of who you claim, if I want what you got, it don't matter. I'm forced to take it. This is what we
listen, but this is the Humpty came over here from something. And when they got here, we helped them. And when we helped them,
when you say we, you mean
us as a people.
What was the name of the people? So I can be clear.
Whatever tribe you was from. Whatever tribe you was from. Native American means just the first Hunkies who came here, and the second Hunkies came here and said, you are the natives. We are the aboriginals. We are the true Americans. The statues with the big head, with the big nose.
I'm going to challenge you on that. Now, you say, so Native Americans.
No, we are the original, the aboriginals. Yes. We are the people.
But I'm just going to say, now, push back on that. I don't believe my people was here first. I don't believe my people was here.
Well, what is that statue with the brother with the helmet?
Oh, I ain't saying someone wasn't over here. I ain't saying that.
How did they get coffee in Colombia?
Huh?
How did they get coffee in Colombia?
How did they get who?
Coffee in Colombia.
Coffee in Colombia. That's an excellent question. Now, they could have traded. They could trade. But since some of the conditions in South America are very similar to some conditions in America, it's a possibility that thing was going over here anyway.
All I'm saying is, even people who don't believe in the scriptures and all that, right? If you read the scriptures, they talk about corn. Corn is not indigenous to Africa. It only came introduced into Africa in the 1600s. So when you read the scriptures and they talk about corn in Genesis, it's talking about the people here. The Bible is talking about us. And that's who we are. But, and the Hunky didn't write no Bible or none of that. No. All he did was translated some things out and try to make it in betterment for him, and then showed you how to interpret it when it was already interpreted a certain way.
So now we're going back. So first, all right, family, because I read the Bible, it was an excellent story. One of the best storybooks I have ever seen in my life. I'm just saying.
Metaphysical books.
Both of them. The dad and the some of the best stories I ever read in my life.
It could be myth. That's not it. What I'm saying is we always had stories, just like he told you about Superman. You see what I'm saying? We always had stories to tell our children. You know what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't just for the children.
I understand.
See, that's where we go wrong.
I understand.
It's for the adults. Hold on. So but stories, right? You can read the same story and come out totally with dope.
That's why you got a brain and I got a brain.
Right now, but that's where we get it wrong at, right? Because now the reason you could walk away with a total different meaning than I, because we don't have a cultural framework to bring that in. Because people from a similar culture, from a similar way of raising, and with similar borders around their shit, they see things very similar. This is why somebody, the great punk can get up and be like, I can shoot somebody right now on the street, and they would still vote for me. Right? Hold on. He say this, and then you can go to one of his followers, and they know that cultural framework allows them to see the world in a similar fashion. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, right now we could do that, but if me and you were truly in the same tribe, when you see the men, our thing would be totally similar. Just like right now.
Here's what will keep us together.
Huh?
Here's what will keep us together.
What?
The elder. The elder that tells us the story. When we sit amongst the circle and the elder is telling us the story, you understand what I'm saying?
And that will keep it closer.
It will keep us connected. Even though they see it different than me and them from the elder to say, the elder would be able to point out that this spread, you understand, from the elder, and then we had, no matter how old adult was, if you wasn't the elder of the tribe, then you had to listen. And then you might have been that warrior that was like, why do I have to wait for this? I want to go kill him. You understand? But the elder got you, he humbling you out. Whether it's about a black bird and a red bird, then the black bird is going to come and free the red bird. That's in the tribe. That's over here. That these so-called Indians, if they're not Indians, because once they're Indians, you got to go to Hindustan, India. But the so-called certain tribes, I tell you, they won't be totally free until the black bird frees the red bird, and we're considered the black bird. The world knows this. That's why when I go into every store, whether it's a corner store or one of these big corporations, I enforce who I am. And they have, except for abiding by certain rules and regulations.
Who?
First, the rules were set up by us.
No.
And then the hunky took over. Listen, the hunky didn't have, what is the pilgrims in the Indians? They didn't know it. They didn't even know what chocolate.
It supports the reality in which we all exist.
True.
Maybe you don't exist in it.
True.
But a lot of us exist in the reality. No, it ain't true. It ain't true. It's never been true. It's been who controls the ability to take life.
Anybody can take life.
No, not no mass movement. As a matter of fact, and not no mass way like these Europeans have perfected.
No, what I'm saying is, listen, we take a life every day. If you look on the news, you'll see our people killing in
That's
every
not
city.
even true.
We taking
That's
life.
not even true. Now, because that's feeding into their propaganda. But I'm gonna say this to you, dude. It's the military of the United States of America.
My daddy was in the military.
That don't make a difference.
No, I'm
Your
saying.
dad, well, I was in the military.
Right. So they're military. So they military. When you say they're military, it really they never won a war. We won their war.
Stop.
We won their battle.
Stop, bro. Listen. You saying they never won a war?
No.
Wait, hold on. Who tells the story of the victory? Who get see because
I
listen.
understand what you're saying.
I mean, because
The conqueror tells the
not
story.
only just the conqueror of the story. Let's talk towards the we won for, right? It's the credit for that. So now, one.
Who allows them the credit?
No, dog, us allowing them to get the credit. It's because they control that force.
They do. But listen what I'm saying. When they
They only control that force because people allow them to. The people that's in there allow them to.
Nobody listen. First off, listen to me.
I've been in the
But
military.
I've been in the military too.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's our job to uphold you and say thank you, brother. But when they recognizing their veterans, because I always say this, damn, why is always these hunkies like it ain't never us? It's our job to recognize our veterans. We supposed to.
No, stop.
We don't need to be on channel 6 and channel 9.
No. See, this is where we get
Honor
lost.
you to our community.
This is where we get lost. See, because the veterans that fought the wars for the United States of America should be recognized by the United States of America. Hold on, time out. We should have extra ceremonies for those that came from our community. But for us to just advocate what is owed to us. People that came from America that fought in these wars for these people or even just served this country need to be serviced by the United States government. And many of the things that we start arguing as far responsibilities are not our responsibilities. It's the responsibility of period.
We are the government. We are our own government.
Dude, how are we our own government?
How?
I mean, I'm just saying right now, as we are right now, how are we our own government?
We are our own government sitting right here.
All right, cool. All right, pledge a resolution that everybody walk out of here right now, and you will be financially successful, right? We're gonna be able to, what they call it when the government pass their money. Let's make a rule right now. Let's make a law right now that will be recognized beyond this room. Right now. See, because listen, I can't.
We have to be recognized beyond this.
No, so but can we enforce it? No, but hold on. If it's recognized in the room, then when we go outside the room, right? That means I can break the law, which means that you have absolutely no power.
It means we can act on the laws that we make.
Okay, cool. Now, we can act.
Do you have your own police force?
Who?
Do you know how Bexley
got their own.
And Whitehall?
Whitehall got their own.
Now, we have to understand this. How do we in our community create a police force where we got a mayor, a municipal court, and you understand what I'm saying? Now, it only takes a certain amount of people and a certain geographical
What
area.
you're talking about is operating within a collective that are thinking alike and are in a close enough area, because right now, we couldn't do that because you may live on the north side, you may live on the southeast side. We got to live in a close enough vicinity to where we are able to control a certain area, and in that area,